Okay, people. July 27, 2016. Sorry, 2017. Do you see this? That's not attached to anything. And this is where the water gets into. And if you push on it, you can feel that it's rotten underneath there from the water. Well, you can see too, right? It's nothing. It's just a big nothing in there. But this is what's... Water's getting in here. It's going into the garage. It's getting everything dirty and wet and ruined, right? And then also, too, that water leaks this way because water travels. Water causes damage. Water destroys things. Water travels with mud. It moves mud around. And then what it does is it leaks into here as well, right? So as I'm getting into the garage now, right, I have a plan, right? I'm just going to start giving away stuff. I'm not even going to think about it. Yard sale, people. Right. As you can see, the grass now can recuperate from having stuff on it. I think what I'm going to do for the Andre shed is I'm going to use this screen instead because it's a little cheaper. And if I was to have a yard sale, I'd probably sell that because that's, you know, because this will suffice. Right? So whether I have a yard sale or not, especially if I have to start giving away what little few things I do have for a yard sale just to accommodate the city. Seriously, just to accommodate the city because they don't want me using my driveway basically for anything. Right? But those people can use theirs to hoard their garbage. Like literally garbage. This stuff I have to bring into my garage for now and then move that stuff down until I can finish Andre's shed and then put some of that stuff into the shed. Or like that little grass thing. This little, hold on a minute. Okay, so this is the mission.
Come look at this.
Right, we know what the mission is. I brought out some little containers. Hold on. Okay. So I got into this corner. This is when I used to do park events and other events. The Malcolm X chocolate milk parties or whatever it is. You know, New Nations Unity community celebrations at Holly Park, which was one of the poorest communities in all of Surrey. For some reason, the Parks Board liked to put me in there with all those poor little children. You know, so on days when, like, everybody was broke, so whenever I did a park event, these things were filled up with freezies and pops, and I used to just give everything away. But these days, like I said, the city of Surrey is just more interested in their smear campaign, right? They forget about these days. Now, you know, since all this time has passed, all my tables that I used to take to the park, are gone. They've gone missing. They've been taken from wherever, right? So this is the remnants of the leftover of the park events that I don't do anymore, people, because I'm too busy defending myself all the time as these, you know, professional people are trying to make me look like I don't know what. Right? But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Here is a box with perfectly good, clean toys, which they are in there, which means I probably would have given them away to children. Raccoons didn't get into this bag, unlike that bag. Right? So I don't know what to do with these people. Like, I still want to do park stuff. You know, I don't know about a park event, but I do want to do a few things because, you know, my grandson's at that age and I still have some equipment, right? Anyway, let me get back on it. Oh, how the mind works, people. And there's the city worker, an old dusty Santa Claus who turned into the Grinch. Anyway, as you can see, I just wipe it down. It's not like I get out and do anything in the community, right? Okay, so I just sprayed it down a little bit, right? Took a brush, broom, and took out the cobwebs. I'm smelling raccoon. Nothing up there right now. Just moves around, whatever that crap is. That's been there forever. I see a small hornet's nest. God forbid if the hornets get up in there. Do you see it? That's not a good thing, people. I don't know if that's an old one or a new one. Right? But anyway, these I'm going to keep. I have some more in the back because one day when I have a little more time, try and make some more cat boxes or something, right? You know, that's good for cat boxes or something like that. Okay? And since I'm being held emotionally hostage to these toys, you know, crime of the century, people. For poor people, that's for sure. It's not new, so therefore it's not important. But anyway, I'm going to give it a quick wash again. And I'm going to put them over here for now. Eventually I'm going to end up tarping this up, so hold on. Okay, people. So, do you honestly believe that when and if the city comes and picks up Andre's toys, whatever else they want, that they're just going to simply throw it in the garbage? Do you honestly believe that? Or do you think they've got maybe some people working in some warehouse washing this stuff and then sending it out to thrift stores to make a profit? You know, robbing Peter to pay Paul type of thing, right? Because this is certainly not Robin Hood helping the poor. And these things, I'm telling you, people, I got them from Spring Cleanup in Delta. This one in 2015. And this is what brought the city to my house as it was coming into my yard. Same thing with that composting box in 2015, and that barrel, water barrel, as the city's excuse to do exactly what they're doing right now, people. Right? And they provide absolutely no spring cleanup for the residents of Surrey because they can't handle the burden of how it piles up on the streets. So they allow you 4 large items a year, and that's it. Outside of that, they take it upon themselves to follow you around, see what you bring home, make a mental note of it, and then they see a bucket and start accusing you of running a chemical factory so they can scare your landlord to get you evicted so they can come in and steal the toys, sell them, right? And then sell the house through third party to make taxes. It's all about money. There's old Santa Claus. There is no bill.
How are you saying there's no bill, Mom?
Because they haven't been billed yet. They haven't
came yet. As soon as the city comes, they will get billed after.
And do you not see me washing?
Yeah, but that's
I don't see you ever washing anything, Sinead.
That's not washing and putting stuff, taking one thing and putting it taking one thing from one spot and putting it somewhere else.
And now you know why, Sinead. You need to go out in the real world and figure it out for yourself. So I'll wash this, and you don't care if I have a yard sale. You don't care that I invested thousands of dollars into your yard. You don't care that I spend 60 to 70% of my time in your yard to make it look nice. You don't care about any of that. All you care about is selling this house or raising the rent after I'm gone. Now that the yard is done, you need somebody to come in and do the house repairs. That's exactly what it is. And you use the city as a means to bully your tenants out of the house. Okay. So anyway, we got my landlord's daughter here giving me a notice because she insists that she's going to have her parents bill $9,000 for the city to come in with their dumpster and just start hauling out the garbage. Andre's not allowed to have toys. Right?
And you're just gonna post it on Instagram?
Fucking right. Because this is what's happening to vulnerable families. They come in and they do the work, and then the work that they're not capable of doing, we get kicked out. No, they need house repairs now, Shimei. I can't do porch repairs. They want more money for rent. I can't afford more money. With the greenhouse and everything, the sheds, more than one shed. There was not even one shed when I moved in. Not even one shed when I moved in. Not even one shed, people. Now there's like 4 or 5. There you go, city of Surrey. All right? So this is what I'm getting evicted over, people. And because they're dirty, that's what people focus on. Right? They don't focus on the fact that there's a tree out here, a couple of them that drops whatever, and this dirt here is very, very fine and dusty, and not to mention dirt everywhere else, and when it rains and whatever. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to put a carpet over this soon. Hold on a minute. Okay, people. Now that kerfuffle is over, being told by my landlady's daughter-in-law, who happens to be a realtor too, that I'm getting an eviction notice because of this. Because of the ongoing problem being that the first time it was the front yard. Because like I said, I brought home stuff from Delta Spring Cleanup in 2015. Some of the stuff that I'm washing today. And that was the city's excuse to come in and start doing what they were doing. And I reminded her that those pipes got ripped up in the front, and that whatever that was going on in the front had already been done. And I don't blame my landlords for a broken mainline pipe, right? In terms of ripping up all my work, 4 years of hard work to cover up that sand in order to fix a pipe. All right? And now that it's almost done, they have to do their attack on the back. All right? I'm washing puppies, old puppy toys that nobody wants, except for the children. Now, my neighbor's kids, the little girl is something like 5, and then there's a couple little boys like 6 and 7. 6, 8, and 5, something like that. So, my landlady's daughter-in-law was saying, why do you need that small little children's wagon? It's not age appropriate for Andre. And I said, well, first of all, the kids are playing with it. But then I noticed the wheels are broken, 2 of them. So that's on its last legs. As they're breaking, I'm chucking them out because I get tired of washing people, you know? That's why I'm building the shed. All right. Little musical instrument. I'm getting evicted over toys. I'm being accused of being a hoarder. Being told that I shouldn't have accepted anything from my neighbors over there because they were just trying to get rid of their stuff versus trying to actually help me with the flower boxes and the outside paint and the dish liquid washing that I'm washing this stuff in. Do you see how bubbly this stuff is? That's one of the containers. There's not much in there, just a little bit, right? Because he used to have a restaurant, right? So that's why he had those things, right? Anyway, I'm just washing. Like I said, this is just outside stuff, so I got a clean bin there, and I'm washing and I'm spraying it down, letting it air dry, and then I'm just going to throw it in the bin. I'm just going to put the bin temporarily in my garage until the shed is done, right? And then after it's all done, then they can have it and they can play with it. And then as it breaks, because it's just outside stuff, right? Chuck it out, right? Obviously, it's going to get dirty. This is lots of grit. This is a gritty yard for whatever reason, right? You know? Not as gritty as it used to be, right? You know, like little stuff like this. Just whatever. A little bit of soap or water doesn't hurt, right? A little bit of a scrub brush. And then, of course, my middle daughter jumps on the bandwagon because her self-esteem is so low, right? She's, you know, it's easy to talk, but it's another thing to come out here and actually do this stuff. She'd rather me just throw it out, throw everything out, because she never paid for it. You know, she never paid for it. She never had to work for it. That's why I have no problem with her moving out, because now that she's having a baby and she's got to start looking after, I mean, unless, of course, her baby will have no toys, just 2 toys to play with its whole life. And you know, some people are like that. They don't let their children have toys. Right? Be creative or whatever, right? Andre! Stop it! You know, a musical instrument. If you hear it. Right. So apparently they're going to come back on Monday. Mark is off for the weekend. Right. My landlady's daughter-in-law is under the impression that the city is charging them $9,000. And I said, well, they haven't yet because they haven't come and got anything. And then she said, well, you don't know the city, though. They'll just come in. Because I said, what are they going to take? She said, I don't know. I said, well, what do you think they should take? She said, I don't know. Except for that little wagon that, you know. And I'm like, well, but they still... But they still play with it, right? I mean, obviously they were playing with it before she showed up. Right? And then, this is my cup. So that goes back inside the house. Andre, you need to stop. Well, no, stop that. And she said what they do is they come in with a big bin. They come in with a big bin and they just start chucking everything. Well, yeah, because when they move that big bin and they sort through that big bin, they pick through what they want, people, and they pay somebody to wash it for them. And then, like I said, they probably shift it off to some kind of a thrift store. You can see how dirty that is. To sell it to make a profit, right? And of course, they're attacking vulnerable families, right? And scaring the pants off of homeowners, right? To have this fake impression of how rich this neighborhood is supposed to be, just so that they can make their taxes on their property sales. Right? So anyway, I'm washing this because the boys like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they even like my toy.
They like his, yeah, these children, they really like coming over here and playing. They really like the playhouse. They really like the playhouse. The little girl really likes the playhouse. Like I said, yeah, wait till I bring out the play food and that kind of stuff, right?
Where's the food?
Which at this point is nice and clean in a bin. And like I said, I don't know if I'll let them have it all, but I'll let them have some of it because, you know, you have to expect that it's gonna...
I'll let them have some of the play food.
Yeah, because it's gonna get grody. Andre, don't push on that bucket because the camera's right here, right?
I'm not putting it.
So, you know, please. So anyway, I'm just giving everything a quick wash and then just let it air dry.
Better?
Andre, yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. Bringing out another one of his little cars, right? That he rolls around on.
My hat is stuck on the tree. I need to climb on the roof.
They like this kind of stuff with their cars and Lego and whatever, right?
They even took my Lego.
But for some people, it's just easier to throw it out. If the city was to pick it up, like I said, I highly doubt that they would throw it out. They would just wash it and take it to Value Village or someplace like that where they can get money, you know, first before they donate it. You know, they do it by poundage. If they donate 10,000 pounds, you know, they get maybe $500 or something like that. Right? Who knows? I don't know. I just know that this stuff is not ending up all in the landfill, even though they're taking it. Right? It's a rob Peter to pay Paul situation. And they focus on the most, you know, they focus on things not looking perfect. So here's this little puppy. He's in much better shape now. But I have to let them dry before I put them in the bin. And then after I've done all this, I'm going to continue working in the garage for today anyway. Oh, the camera's getting wet. Only I don't know. I just work all weekend, people. I don't know if I'll get this shed finished, you know, being made. Right? Well, obviously I'm not going to be... That's not the priority right now. Anyway, let me just get back to this, and then I'll show you in about 2 hours where I'm at. Hold on. So, for anyone that watches my videos, you would remember this. Last time I looked at it was the last time I wiped it down. Because I'm busy, people. I'm always in the yard, right? Pretty much. And now that the yard is almost coming together, you notice I'm being forced out of the house here. Hold on a minute. So anyway, I'm pretty choked. I don't know what my landlady's daughter-in-law was going on about. 3 strikes, you're out. In other words, she was saying, this is the 3rd time that the city has been harassing me in this house, which is not true. They harassed me starting in 2015 after I did Delta Spring cleanup, after Uncle John disappeared. Okay? The city of Surrey. It looks pretty dark in there. Can't see. Hold on. Oh, yeah. The city of Surrey. They used the Delta Spring cleanup in part to enter the property and start harassing my landlords. Even though the city of Surrey was driving up and down the road since 2010, seeing me out in this yard working. Right? And then, of course, these from this GMOI with the Duncan clan and that type of thing, you know, they added fuel to the fire, right? Because they're still doing it. They're still trying to say that this house has been up for sale, right, on the GMI, right? And just causing trouble, right? Wanting to have my life torn apart. So this is the 2nd time. And this only happened, people, after I did that little video talking about how I was going to come into the back as soon as I was done planting the food, right, pretty much, because it was kind of a bit of a nightmare. And we know that I was getting into the garage this summer. We know because I was in here over last year before winter got deep in cold. I said when it warmed up, I was going to get out here and gut this place, right? So I don't know how she figures 3 times. This is only the 2nd time officially on paper that I'm aware of, outside of 2009 at that 4-plex. So maybe she knows those people. Maybe she knows that landlord. I'm not the one that was running the grow-op with the Mickey Mouse wiring that almost electrocuted their tenants. That was that landlord. They used the same paint, though. The paint that's down here, that's still down here, that's going to be painted, it was the same paint that was in that place. Right, so anyway, I don't know. I just know, people, that I told her, I said, you just want higher rent. And if it's not that, you just want to sell it and make lots of money, because the house over there is 1.2 million, right? This one's got a greenhouse now, you know, the walkways and the gardens are done, right? Right? So, like, let's just, you know, let's be real about it. That's what I said to her. Let's be real about it. You know, she knows I have no money. She knows that I'm a broken, basically, human being in terms of, like, I've been abandoned in this environment, right? With apathetic kids that don't like to clean, and other than chuck things out when they're offering to help. I offered to go in the garage and just start throwing out stuff. I had a truck coming. Well, so far I haven't needed a truck yet, people. What was needed was some elbow grease, right? And a shed, which isn't done yet. And I'm being held hostage to that shed, right? Why do you need a shed? You don't need a shed. Get rid of the toys. Seriously. So anyway, I'm washing toys, as usual, right? Seems to be my thing. This stuff here, she asked me what I'm going to do with my car, if the car runs. And I said, well, it was running the day I parked it. It was running perfectly fine. I just couldn't insure it because I didn't have the money to fix it in case it broke down. And I really didn't have the money to do the tune-up, because the tune-up is about $350, $400, right? And then insurance, because just didn't have it. So I parked it, so it's kind of been sitting there ever since. And then Andre broke the back window with throwing something. I have the window, it's in the back seat, but I haven't had money or the time or whatever, anybody to put it in yet, right? Not that I can tune up the car and drive it off, but after that area is cleared out, I do plan on sparking her up, see if she runs. The gas will be bad, right? And then see what happens. I told her if I can get another 6 months to a year out of it, I'm not ashamed of that car. I love that car. That car's gotten me through thick and thin, right? And it's been there for me for 28 years. So, you know, I'd like to have it on the road for another 6 months to a year. And then after that, I told her I'm going to sell it as an antique. So, but the car is the least of my worries right now, right? I'm not worried about the car right now, right? It would be different if I wasn't doing anything, people, you know? So, anyway, I'm going to wipe this down in here. I'm not going to move too much. I think the only thing that I might move is just these couple of little chairs, because they're just, like these ones here. It's good for the kids, right? I'll spray them down. These ones might need a little bit of bleach just to do whatever. They've been sitting there for a few years. I used to take these things to the park, people, okay? Or wherever I did things with, you know, in the community, right? You know, something that people want to forget. I'm a hoarder, you know. I hoarded children's chairs. You know, I hoard crafts, and I hoard, what do you call those things? Coolers for pop and that kind of stuff, right? The last time I wore this helmet, the last time I wore it was in 2008 when I did the courtyard playground restoration with Home Depot. I don't want to put it on because there might be a spider in there. Right? But I'm not going to give that away. I'm not done yet. I'd like to think, like I said, I'm going to have a little bit of a normal life and be able to get back out there and do this stuff before I get too old. Now, they want to rip up my life and have me give everything away just so they can charge someone $2,300 off of my hard labor because they've got a nice yard now, and then have their husband go and do these kind of repairs. Because like I said, I had a landlord back in, as a matter of fact, it was the first house, the very first house Uncle John and I rented in 92 or whatever it was, 92 going on to 93. And they were realtors. The woman was a realtor. It was her first house. And Ron and Jean Ron and Jean. It was her first house. She had long blonde hair that she liked to braid up. And it was her first house. And what it was an old ancient house that they did the upstairs with, and they made it look really, really nice. And it had beautiful big bay windows, right? That's what I liked about it. And it had a big backyard and whatnot. But it had a basement where apparently the owner lived in there. And so they whisked me through real fast through the basement, because we rented the whole house, because John was going to go downstairs in those days more, right? So they whisked us through real fast, right? Because it had a little kitchen and everything, right? And so I never really got to see anything other than just like when I rented this place. I never got to see the yard. I never even realized that it didn't have inside stairs until after I gave them the money and came back and started moving my stuff in, because I was moving stuff in with my son for about 20 days, 25 days before we even moved the family in, right? And he'd help me move stuff. I'd put bookshelves up or whatever, and then he'd sleep here, right, as things were moving over, right? And I didn't even know it had inside stairs until I actually got here, and I'm like looking for the stairs, and then it dawned on me. Well, it was the same kind of thing with that other house. They whisked us through so fast, and because the upstairs was nicer, and it had the big beautiful bay windows, and it had a yard, and it was $1,200 for the whole house, we took it. Well, once I got in there, people, and I got into the basement, guess what I did for the whole freaking year? For the whole freaking year, I had to gut it. I had to rip up the old rotten carpets and looked up into the whatever, and it was molded, and I'd put a mask on like a scarf, and I'm taking out all the freaking fucking mold up in the rafters, and oh my God, that's all I did for a whole year, because I couldn't send Uncle John down there. And then one room, for some reason, because it had a drainage tile problem, when it rained, the whole thing turned into a pond. Water like this in a room that was like, oh my God, how many feet by how many feet? Maybe 6 feet, 7 feet by 8 or 10 feet, with that much water in it. It got so bad that they came in with a bunch of hay and just filled it up with hay to suck up the water. But as soon as that basement was cleaned out, right, everything was gutted, everything was washed, all the mold was gone, everything. Guess what? They did the same fucking antics, right? Picked a fight, get out, wouldn't want to give me my damage deposit back. I said, look, if you don't give it to me, I'm going to take you to court. So they ended up giving me my damage deposit, and because I didn't want to take it to fucking court for using me for a whole year to clean their shit, I just moved. I just left. So this could be almost the same kind of situation, because they knew that the yard was pretty pathetic. Okay. And like, let's face it, there was broken pipes when I moved in. Okay, whatever. They didn't have the money to fix it because they paid for the windows, and I can understand that, right? Whatever. I dealt with it. The pipes are done. The electrical stuff got done after I moved in, and I realized there was a problem. She did that, and like, and when whatever, like, I'm like, through good and bad, I've been holding down the fort, right? And now that the property prices are like hot on the market, and the yard brings in, I said, aren't you happy with the yard? Oh yeah, well that side's nice, but not that side yet. I said, what's wrong with that side? Oh, well, there's still stuff. I said, yeah, that's $500 worth of bricks that were donated to me basically for $5. Right? I'm sorry, I just don't have time to lay bricks right now. And I'm making bricks. Slabs. Right? To put some down this way, because when winter comes, it turns into a big mud bath. So I thought I'd put a few that way. Well, why am I wasting my time to be harassed? Who's harassing me? The city? Or is somebody encouraging the city to do this because they just want more money for this house? I don't know, people. I don't know. This is stupid, though. This is not strike three. This is the second time, okay? The first time with that Navpreet over there in that little fourplex, that The only reason the city got me evicted is because the landlord didn't want to be a fucking landlord, okay? The landlord just wanted to use and abuse their tenant for the most dollar profit that they could get as they put them at risk to being electrocuted, okay? Are my landlords like this, these people? No, not necessarily. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. But the yard is almost done now. And there is a beautiful greenhouse that at least the tomatoes like. And I am growing walnut trees. Isn't that amazing? And oak trees. That's amazing, people. And I still have material to go out and do craft stuff after all this mayhem is over with. I gotta take a broom. Hold on a minute. Dust out the cobwebs. Like I said, I knew I'd have to do the garage. It was just a matter of time. But it leaks. Look how it leaks so much, people. Do you see that water in there? That's full of water from all that. This is all rotten because of that. That's what I'm getting into. I'm working my way. Right. Am I complaining? No, not really. I'm trying to figure out a way to fix it. As I'm being criminalized because there people are judging me for this. When in fact, if that thing didn't fucking leak, it would look more like this. Right? And these things in here are perfectly fine. They're not musty, they're not moldy. What's in this box? I haven't looked in these boxes for a while. Okay, hold on. I'm not even taking these out. Do you see what this is? These are dinosaurs. Look at that. These are like all those. Look at that. And they're nicely bagged up so everything's nice and clean because I remember washing these.
And this is a fire one?
Look at this, people.
A fire one? Cool.
What is this one?
What else is in here?
Do you see? Right? I'm a hoarder. I'm a hoarder.
Okay.
And here's another box. You can see, same. No. You're not taking it out because I'm not washing. I used to take this stuff. And when I'd be around 20, 30, 40 kids, people. And they'd be playing with it, right?
And look, a shark.
Yeah, well, we're not playing with this right now. That's another day. This box can come out, though. This is some old beech wood.
And look at this.
I'll put this in with the other wood for
look at
Andre's walnut art because that will just give me another little extra space.
Yeah.
See? Just wash it. Good to go, people.
Now,
okay. And if you go into my videos or whatever, or onto my website, you'll see pictures with these umbrellas. No. We're not. No. We're not pulling those out. He wants these. No, not right now.
No. I want to catch a butterfly.
No, you've got another one around the yard.
No.
These are. I used to take these to the park, people, when I did park events. I don't think I'm going to be doing any more park events. Please don't get pushy with me. I don't think I'm going to do any more park events because there's just too many negative forces around me. I'm serious. Everybody is on a money-hungry, power-tripping, gotta be in control. You know, they don't, whatever. So anyway, I don't know. This is actually the legs for a little table. No, I don't know if I have the table anymore. The brown part. I think I do. So now I know where the legs are. I just remembered. But anyway, can you stop? Okay? Don't be rude. These are, like I said, umbrellas when I took to the park. So I'm just going to leave those in there, but I don't think I'm going to be doing park events anymore because my stuff is just getting ruined. One way or another, it's either getting stolen or it's getting ruined, right? And I don't have time, plus I'm being trashed. I'm being made to look like, I'm a incompetent bimbo. So anyway, change of plans here. You can see because he's been getting so wet, right, as it's dripping over the winter with this rain. This shelf is starting to buckle, you can see. So, that means I have to remove it because it's just going to buckle. Sooner or later, it's just going to buckle. It's just going to that way. So, and yeah, in this box, what I'm going to do, people, I think I'm just going to do some of this stuff out in the back with Andre and his little friends. This is just craft material. You can see, right? I like to bag things because bags protect things. This is all felt. This is beautiful. Look at this. Yeah, that's beautiful, people. Perfect. But the box is no good no more because it got all wet. More reason to bag your stuff up. Okay, so the only reason that's getting wet is because of that up there. When I bought those, again, I was working with 20 to 60 kids in a day, people, in a courtyard. So this provided a flat surface for when they sat down on a mat, like a blanket mat that I would have. They'd come and they can color with paper and pens. It gave them a flat surface. So those are still good, even though they're a little dirty, so I'm going to have to wash them, right? I don't know where I'm going to put them because I'm losing a shelf, but we'll figure it out. So it's my fault that my stuff gets ruined, and then the work gets 10 times harder, and I'm washing all the time, right? That bookshelf I can actually salvage. I'm going to let it dry out. Well, I'll spray it down today. And then I'm going to let it dry out, and then I'm going to reinforce it with some better wood. And then after the floor is in Andre's shed, I'm going to put it in there, and bim, bang, bing, instant shelves. Okay, so do people honestly think I packed this box like this? I mean, it's been so saturated that everything's sticking. You can see sticking. You can hear it sticking. It's taking on a life of its own. Right?
Sticky?
Yeah. Because I always have to wash things. Here's a soap dish. Just needs to be washed, people. Again.
No!
Ah! Don't scare me. Okay, people. There is a difference between a hoarder and someone who doesn't have adequate storage, works on a nonprofit, or at least used to, and has to cope with the ongoing destruction of her belongings, whether it's through pillaging of random people in the neighborhood that like to wander into my garage, right? Or just it getting destroyed because of lack of proper storage. But for the most part, it looks worse than it really is right now. This is a hoarding moment because I'm scattering things around, people. These boxes, I don't necessarily want to put, I don't even know what's in those boxes. We're going to find out in a minute. On this table, I'm just giving this table a minute to dry. And then I'm going to put these boxes on the table and we're going to open them up and see what's inside of them. And I'm just going to leave them there temporarily until, I guess, Andre's shed is done. And then when his shed is done, if there's anything there that I want, I can put it in there. And because it should be waterproof and rat-proof, it should stay quite nice, right? So hold on a minute. I don't know how my landlady's daughter-in-law can say my grandson doesn't play with his toys. And people, for everything that's rotten in the world, there's always something kind and beautiful, like these little kittens. We got 3 little kittens, and they lost their mittens, but Auntie Tisha found them. Yes, she did. Oh, she likes the underneath there, right? But I cleared out these the cupboard. I'm just been waiting to put them away downstairs, and before I bring them down, I want to clean up down there first. Oh, and there's proud Mama. She's a good mama. Oh yeah, look at that.